LLU never performed elective abortions. Before we attempt to analyze the credibility of this claim made by Richard Hart, the LLUH CEO, we need to take a look at the definitions of both elective and the so-called therapeutic abortions. A therapeutic abortion is the interruption of a pregnancy before the 20th week of gestation because it endangers the mother's life or health or because the baby presumably would not be normal. This definition was designed by the defenders of abortion in order to justify the killing of innocent unborn babies. Notice the clever way killing is referred to as interruption of a pregnancy. Can anyone interrupt a pregnancy without killing? Notice that said killing is justified not only when the life of the woman is in great danger, but even when her health is affected, which includes mental health, thus making the term therapeutic meaningless, because any unwanted pregnancy will inexorably affect the woman's mental health. Any woman faced with an unwanted pregnancy may say to her doctor, "I am terribly depressed, I can't concentrate on my studies and work, I want an abortion," and bingo, another innocent child will be summarily executed without due process at the whim of a temporarily mentally depressed woman. Notice also that this includes babies with malformations, since those are the ones who are most likely to jeopardize the mental health of the pregnant woman. It is hard to imagine a pregnant woman excited about having to raise a child with mental or physical malformations. An elective abortion is the interruption of a pregnancy before the 20th week of gestation at the woman's request for reasons other than maternal health or fetal disease. As you can see, the use of the terms elective and therapeutic were implemented in order to justify the killing of unwanted unborn babies. Strictly speaking, the term elective should include all abortions, except when the objective is not the killing of the baby but the saving of the woman's life.
Number one, please.
Hart from Loma Linda University. I want to appreciate this document for the value it places on the sanctity of life. I think it's useful for those who are not from a medical background to understand what we now know about pregnancies. Clearly, an elective abortion, which we often refer to as an elective abortion, we don't do at Loma Linda, have never done.
This claim by Richard Hart, current LLUH CEO, was publicly made on October 14, 2019 in order to facilitate the approval of the new document on abortion by the General Conference Executive Committee. The document was approved in spite of the dissent made by Pastor Doug Batchelor, who asked that Section 6 be eliminated or else amended because it justifies the killing of babies with birth anomalies and those with fatal prospects. Adventist prolifers question the babies with birth defects, nor does it allow the execution of those expected to experience a rather short life. Human ability to predict the future is defective and quite often erroneous.
On the other hand are those pregnancies that end up in a miscarriage, as we call it. We correctly call it a spontaneous abortion, in which the body rejects that fetus and aborts it. There are also some cases in which the body doesn't reject it, but the fetus is just as dead.
The fetus is just as dead really means that the baby is still alive. Abortion takes the life of a living baby, not a dead one. If the baby is already dead, there is no moral impediment to remove it from the woman's womb. A dead baby would endanger the woman's life.
And the question is, I think we would all agree, there's no point in carrying a pregnancy at risk to the mother if the fetus has died or if it's incompatible with life.
If the unborn baby is incompatible with life, the baby will die either in the womb or else after birth. We find many hospital patients who are incompatible with life. Is this a morally valid reason to kill them? Actually, some of them do survive in spite of being incompatible with life. They often recover and become compatible with life thanks to the loving care of physicians and nurses. There have been cases when ill-advised nurses have dared to kill some of such patients and ended in jail for their murders.
The tough part is the middle ones, in between the two. And there's a few cases of these that frankly much of this discussion hangs around. Such things as placenta previa, which with placentas growing across the mouth of the womb, may end up in fatal hemorrhaging of the mother.
It's hard to figure out why Richard Hart included placenta previa as a reason for abortion, since the remedy for placenta previa is not abortion but rather C-section. In placenta previa cases, the mouth of the womb is blocked, making even a pelvic examination rather dangerous and an attempted abortion more so.
a thing like trisomy 21, a genetic defect of the fetus, which is incompatible with life. And so the baby is going to die at some point, but may not be aborted spontaneously.
Even stranger is his including trisomy 21 as a reason for abortion. Trisomy 21 is the scientific name for Down syndrome. Richard Hart claimed that Down syndrome babies are incompatible with life, yet quite often I see Down syndrome children and even adults when I go shopping. Hart stated that Down syndrome babies are going to die at some point. Yes, some of them will die in the womb or after birth, but others will survive and grow up to adulthood. Is this a valid moral reason to kill them? The fear of giving birth to a Down syndrome baby is a valid one, but killing an innocent human being is forbidden in Scripture.
Such things as rupture of the membranes or breaking of the waters, as we call them, and if that happens before 20 weeks of pregnancy, that baby's lungs cannot develop, and so when the baby is born, even though it's not aborted, when it's born at 40 weeks, almost invariably will die. It's those kind of decisions in the middle that I think we've got to have paragraph 6 for, frankly, and allow the doctor and the mother to make the wisest decision in trying to do that.
Can you believe Hart's arguments in defense of abortion? You need to pay careful attention to his reasoning. Notice that he states that the Down syndrome baby almost invariably will die, which means that other times the baby will survive, and the evidence is that we see Down syndrome children who did survive. Do we have the right to play God and kill some of these babies? This is why, according to Richard Hart, we need paragraph 6 in our church's document on abortion. No wonder some have labeled section 6 of the document as the abortion loophole. Said section of the document allows what the Bible forbids: the wanton killing of innocent human beings. Hart ends by defending the right of the woman and her doctor to decide whether the baby should live or die, something directly forbidden by the 6th commandment that was designed by the Creator for the protection of the right to life granted by God to every living human being. I have selected a portion of a video published by one of the most experienced Adventist pro-life men I know, Andrew Mitchell, who has produced nearly 300 pro-life videos in a rather short time.
We don't do it, Loma Linda, have never done, and I don't believe our healthcare systems do those.
Completely false. This is absolutely not true. First of all you have to do is go online and search Anencephalic Donor Program Loma Linda. One reason that Loma Linda became famous is because they were taking handicapped children and keeping them alive in order to harvest their organs. This is a fact that is not even open to question. This made international news. You can read about it in the New York Times, LA Times. It's published everywhere. And that's not abortion. These are born children. This is infanticide in order to harvest their organs. Second, Edward Allred. I am so sick and tired of hearing leaders in our church tell everyone, oh, we don't support elective abortion, while they openly honor and celebrate the most notorious abortionist who boasted of performing over 250,000 elective abortions. Allred is listed as the ambassador for Loma Linda University, and his name is plastered all over, and just this year they started a scholarship in Allred's name, and this is published in Loma Linda's own official journal. Oh, we don't support slavery, but we openly honor and celebrate the man who had 250,000 slaves. Oh, we don't support rape. Rape is just so terrible, but we openly celebrate and honor a man who raped 250,000 people. Anyways,
we don't do it, Loma Linda, have never done, and I don't believe our healthcare systems do those.
And third, in 2011, the Washington Post published an article openly stating that the Adventist Church allows what? Allows elective abortions. It's right there in black and white, published in an international newspaper. And I personally contacted the Washington Post. I contacted the journalist who told me that not one person from the NAD or GC called asking for any correction or retraction. An international newspaper blasted to the world that we Adventists practice elective abortions, and not a single person in church leadership denied that.
On February 23, 2011, I wrote to Julia Dwin, the author of the Washington Post article on abortion. In it, I said, I read with great interest your January 24 article entitled Seventh-day Adventists and Abortion Due to a Special Reason. I am getting ready to publish a book dealing with the issue of abortion as it relates to the Adventist Church. On February 21 I had a chance to address Ted Wilson, the president of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, both in public and in private at a special meeting held in Redlands, California. I asked Pastor Wilson whether he was aware of your article and your claim alleging that the Adventist Church allows elective abortions. In his public response he stated that the information is incorrect, that the guidelines on abortion you made reference to condemn abortions on demand, that you must have secured your information from an unreliable source, that if any elective abortions are done they are contrary to church policy, and that the number of such abortions is so rare that the percentage is almost down to zero. He added that the kind of abortion the church-owned medical institutions perform are the therapeutic kind, like those connected with rape and when the life or health of the pregnant woman are at risk. Has the church contacted you regarding your 2 articles on the abortion issue? If what Mr. Wilson said in public is factual, wouldn't someone from the church write to you and ask that you correct what they believe is incorrect information? Julia responded within 10 minutes to my letter to her as follows: "No, the Adventists never contacted me asking for a retraction. They had been so public about offering abortions in the press so they couldn't exactly deny that's what they were up to. Good luck on your book." BTW, here is an interesting anecdote. A retired LLU employee told me that she used to work as a secretary for a doctor whose specialty was therapeutic abortions. He used to perform abortions all day long from morning till evening, and he instructed her to label all those abortions as therapeutic. Of course, you may be aware that therapeutic abortions include those due to mental health. My question is, do you know any woman faced with an unwanted pregnancy who is likely to be free from mental depression? At the end of this presentation, you will see the link to a video entitled "Refuting Dr. Richard Hart, President of Loma Linda University." Click on it and watch the full version of Andrew Mitchell video on abortion. Please, share this video with your friends. And watch the videos listed below. And post your comments below.